Welcome to Top Employers Inspire, 3 days of expertly curated content for you to gain valuable insights from the world of work. At Top Employers Institute, we want to inspire with purpose. We are genuinely motivated to make a positive impact on the world of work. And to do so, we also broadly share insights of our top employers around the globe. For you to gain those insights and for you to learn and share your ideas across the company. For the next couple of days, actually, we've got Top Employers Inspire. And just to name a few from our leading top employers that are joining and contributing to Top Employers Inspire. We've got Nestlé China coming up on mentor networks. We have Amgen on how flexibility can reinforce the organizational culture. And we've got Coca-Cola who will explain how they deliver a personalized digital employee experience. That is just to name a few. I would advise to register for multiple sessions to get the most insights and the most learning out of all these sessions. You don't maybe not able to attend all of those sessions, but you are definitely the first in line to receive the recording once you've registered, and then you can later get out your notebook and view the recording anyways. I'm gonna stop talking because next up we're gonna connect to Africa. We've got TransUnion Africa's approach to a hybrid and remote personalized employee experience. So from here, I'd like to connect to Sandra Botha. Hello, Sandra. Welcome.
Hi, Bertha. Thank you very much.
So Sandra will moderate the session and also introduce the speaker. They will also do the Q&A afterwards, and then it will connect back live to our studio. So from Amsterdam, I'd like to connect to South Africa. Sandra, the signal is yours.
Thank you very much. And as Bertha said, I'm Sandra Botha. I'm a global HR auditor with the Top Employers Institute. And today I'm very privileged to talk with Shivani Ramsaroop. She is the head of HR for TransUnion's Global Capability Center in Africa. Welcome, Shivani. Now, her topic today is very relevant to this new way of work post the COVID pandemic. In Africa, currently, 76% of top employers have actually optimized their employee journeys for remote working. But this remains a very evolving practice. We look very forward to hearing from Shivani how TransUnion is approaching a fully remote employee experience. Shivani, welcome and over to you.
Thank you so much, Sandra. Good day to you all, and thank you so much for that warm welcome, Sandra. I'm excited to share with you today our approach and journey to a 100% remote work environment and the impact this has had on personalizing our employee experience. The world of HR and how we manage talent has drastically changed. With multi-generational talent in the workplace, we can no longer take a one-size-fits-all approach. In the business world, the consumer holds the power. In our world in HR, our talent holds the power. Therefore, reinventing our employee experience will always be relevant and top of mind for us. A little information in my previous slide, please. A little information about TransUnion and myself before I get started. I've been with in HR for 18 years, of which I spent the past 13 years at TransUnion. Why 13 years in one company, you may ask? And that's because it's been such an easy decision to stay at TransUnion, as TransUnion has remained relevant as an organization by successfully navigating through change since 1901. This is 122 years of existence and evolution. Throughout my time at TransUnion, I've seen massive investments in digital transformation, people, leadership, and technology. I have achieved many personal milestones here through career growth opportunities, and creating HR excellence and value for our clients is what I thrive on and get to achieve in my current role. Lastly, I love TransUnion's culture as it has allowed me to be myself in the comfort of my home, and I get to work with the best talent in our industry. Before I get started and share more about our work from home best practices, it's important to contextualize what TransUnion does. In the next slide, you will see that we are a global information and insights company that operates in 30 countries around the world. We service 65,000 businesses, around 1 billion consumers, and we have a workforce of just over 12,000 employees. We believe in creating brighter futures for people through our mission of information for good, as we are committed to financial inclusion by expanding financial access to help consumers get access to credit, to raise their standards of living, and to enrich their lives. This means a new young family gets to purchase their first home loan application that gets approved by their bank. Or as a student, your loan is approved in order to complete your degree, thereby creating a brighter future for themselves. To sum up what I've just shared with you, our purpose as an organization is to make trust possible and ensure that each consumer is reliably represented in the marketplace across all the countries we operate in. In the next slide, you will understand why TransUnion investing in South Africa was an easy decision based on the fact that we are a preferred destination for customer experience skills, having ranked first in 2021 and in tie position with India for 2022. As part of South Africa's value proposition, creating significant cost performance and customer lifetime retention, as well as the large availability of English speaking talent, are some of the reasons that make South Africa an attractive place to offshore business process outsourcing services. This has stimulated local job creation, particularly for unemployed youth. We've taken a look at how South African talent supports global markets, such as the United Kingdom, the United States, other African countries, and Australia, as South African talent working as global resources. A major factor that enables this is our time zone friendly destination that creates staff rotation models and multiple channels to interact and support global customers. Now that you understand a little bit more about TransUnion and the South African market, in the next slide, we're going to highlight what a key game changing move TransUnion has made. And this has been the company's early adoption of Global Capability Centers, also known as GCCs. This has enabled us to become a truly global organization. If you are new to the concept, GCCs exist to provide cost arbitrage in markets with an abundance of talent, who then get to service countries around the world to provide their customers with an always on service and support. This is known as follow the sun model. For TransUnion, a follow the sun model speaks to how centers of excellence work. Currently, we have 7 centers across the world, 4 in India, South Africa, and Costa Rica that operate as GCCs, and a shared services center in Lithuania. Because of the different time zones across these 4 countries, our customers are able to get 24/7 service because our centers are open and operational at different times in the day. Being the second GCC destination for TransUnion and having recently celebrated our 2-year anniversary, we are proud to have created employment for 700 plus Africans, and we plan to continue to grow. Our Africa GCC services global markets in the United States, Canada, Africa, and the United Kingdom. This allows our associates to choose different working hours to suit their personal preferences and family needs. As you can see, we provide multifunctional skills to the markets we serve, such as accounting, data management, IT, and marketing skills, to name a few. Having a 100% virtual environment has led us to hiring more women and created more opportunities for many females who normally find themselves taking on the role of primary carers. Working remotely now empowers many females to still take care of their families and to pursue a career. This has also allowed males to be more involved as primary carers too. Creating job opportunities is a huge focus for us, and we do this through employing learners who are our talent incubators that we look to absorb into permanent roles if they qualify. Since inception of our learnership program in October 2021, 100 learners have been and are currently part of our program, with 62% absorbed into the business through permanent employment opportunities. Inculcating a culture of learning is very important to us for any progressive organization. We ensure that every GCC Africa associate is Lean Six Sigma certified, as this is a major priority. We have a robust program that starts off with white belt and green belt certifications, and becoming a master black belt is possible at no cost to our associates at all. Lean Six Sigma principles instills a culture of continuous improvement, and customer journey mapping is one of the tools that we learn about in this program that is central in personalizing the customer experience, and in our case as HR, the employee experience. In the next slide, you will understand how we personalize our talent journey, especially because our current as well as the future of our work in GCC Africa will remain virtual. When it comes to metrics, listening and learning is at the forefront of our talent attraction and management processes. We do this through ongoing engagement surveys and focus groups, as well as impact and success measures, thereby creating opportunities for ongoing process refinement. We have been transitioning with technology to transform our HR function and talent practices to enhance the employee experience from a virtual lens. We have mapped out the life cycle of our associates, and we are very fortunate to have a business process reengineering team that assists each function in GCC Africa to map processes to ensure that the customer journey maps firstly exist, and secondly are fine-tuned so that our associates' experience is free from all types of waste as we embrace virtual ways of working. Our talent acquisition and HR teams invest a lot of time with our associates upfront in the process to help our associates understand what working in a virtual environment really means, and to share all the considerations and opportunities that exist in our virtual work environment. Having access to global systems, we've seen a lot of transformation in how we recruit and onboard our associates. From a talent acquisition perspective, we've seen the introduction of evergreen requisitions to AI enabled digital video screening, online skills tests and assessments, speed interviews, as well as online psychometric assessments to test candidate aptitude to work in a virtual environment. Onboarding associates through Workday, hosting virtual onboarding sessions, and transitioning to a digital onboarding offering allows for self-paced learning options to personalize the experience for our associates. Being 100% remote and having our associates work across South Africa means that we really needed to personalize our technical onboarding processes. And there is no better way to get personal other than to show you how we set our associates up for success, which you will see in a video shortly. When it comes to performance management, our performance management practices caters for associate personalization through one-on-one conversations as associates share what matters the most to them with their managers. Having regular one-on-ones, associate check-ins, continuous feedback, one-on-one coaching sessions, and individual training plans are ways that managers personalize the experience for the associates. Effectively managing performance has enabled flexible work arrangements too. We've seen a rise in requests from our associates to move to another province, either temporarily or permanently, to cater for their needs. We also approve requests to work internationally on a temporary basis to allow our associates to spend time with their families. All of this is possible because we operate on the premise of trust and measure the outputs of our associates. Let's take a look at learning and development next. Personalizing learning and development has been achieved through sponsorship of formal qualifications as we cover 100% of the costs for degrees and diplomas based on the needs and aspirations of our associates. TransUnion has also invested in a dedicated career coach for all our associates that have a need for individual coaching and career guidance. Mentoring and investments in coaches is also part of leadership development. Lean Six Sigma training that I highlighted is so important for us that it is mandatory and is part of instilling a culture of continuous learning and curiosity. Micro learning opportunities also exist through TransUnion's investment in LinkedIn Learning that offers self-paced micro learning opportunities for our associates. From a talent management and leadership development perspective, personalization is achieved through development and retention plans after the identification of competencies for critical roles and leadership succession pipelines. Leadership development is done through creating opportunities for our talent from within the organization and how we evolve future leaders within the company as part of our leadership development and readiness programs. When it comes to compensation and benefits, apart from the standard best practice offerings, we are exploring ways to personalize the employee experience currently. Through the implementation, we can move to the next animation, please. Through the implementation of a financial wellness platform that gives our associates access to their earned but unpaid income before our payroll cutoff cycles. This allows our associates to cover unplanned expenses that really cannot wait for payday and provides our associates with access to financial education as well as tools to plan and manage their budgets. Next animation, please. Apart from financial well-being, protecting our associates from burnout, as the virtual environment could result in people working longer hours and not being able to switch off, includes solutions such as a dedicated wellness guru, where we get to experience yoga sessions and guided meditation. We also get 2 wellness days off every year, which is over and above our annual leave entitlements and allows our associates to take a step back from work to unplug and to focus on their mental health and personal hobbies and interests. We have a Total You program that focuses on physical well being and encourages outdoor movement and activities to reduce the side effects of sitting and being housebound. We offer our associates, including their families and loved ones, a mental health care offering that delivers the right fit for each person, whether that's digital support, coaching, therapy, or even medication. But this is a confidential counseling service that our associates and their loved ones get to access. All of these practices is what creates a positive culture and work environment for us. With the adoption of Lean Six Sigma principles, we drive a high performance and responsive culture that fosters quality and operational excellence. We hold one another accountable as this determines the type of experience our associates and customers have. We encourage two-way communication, virtual collaboration through associate participation in campaigns based on our associates' interests, thereby injecting fun and togetherness via our virtual engagement platform. We also host regular town halls and encourage team connects that contributes to how we socialize and continue to support life at TU beyond work. As I've mentioned earlier, we will now play for you a video on our technical onboarding processes. I will then close with some of the highlights from our learning and development offerings, as well as share some insights on how we stay connected in a virtual environment.
After an associate has signed their employment contract with TransUnion GCC Africa, technical onboarding happens seamlessly and fast. The onboarding team shares the incumbent associate's full name, contact details, residential address, and the equipment they need to do their job without interruption with IT. This happens online. Because TransUnion GCC Africa associates work 100% virtually, we have to ensure that they have uninterrupted internet connectivity. We provide dual connectivity for our associates and 3 connectivity modalities for the management team. We start this process by validating associates' residential address and testing their primary connectivity, internet fiber strength if they already have an existing fiber network in their home, or, in the absence thereof, testing the best fiber network to be installed for them. We then test their secondary connectivity for the best mobile network for a backup SIM card that will be inserted into their laptop during machine imaging and setup. And last, for the management team, a third form of connectivity is provided in the form of an iPhone. Once internet connectivity has been established in the associate's home, the IT and logistics team put together all the equipment the associates will need to work effectively without technological hindrances. Since the opening of GCC Africa, IT has perfected their systems and processes that at this point in the onboarding journey, they already have stock of everything an associate will need. The first and most important piece of equipment that associates receive is an antenna and secure router already linked to their laptop and cannot be used for anything outside of their work. No other device can connect to this router. This is to ensure that all TransUnion information remains safe and protected. The rest of the equipment include a laptop and a bag to protect it, peripherals like a screen, mouse, keyboard, docking station, noise-cancelling headphones with a microphone, and a backup power bank so that our customers never need to worry about business continuity in the case of interruptions like load shedding. We then complete the package with a TransUnion branded welcome pack. The delivery team then contacts the associate and confirms a convenient time to deliver the equipment. When the delivery arrives, an associate double checks that everything on the delivery note is included in the package. They then sign the delivery note to confirm that they've gotten it all and wait for a call from IT. After delivery confirmation, our IT team gives the associate a call to help them sign in to their computer for the first time and to complete the final setup steps, including passwords. Once that's done, an associate is all set to sign in and start working. This process takes 24 to 48 hours. This is how efficient we are at technically onboarding our associates to deliver their best work in a virtual environment.
Now that you have a preview on how we onboard our associates, let's have a look at our learning and development highlights. Learning and development is achieved through 4 pillars: sponsored education, external training, internal training, and our learnership program. When it comes to sponsored education, we sponsor business degrees for associates across the multiple job functions that I shared with you earlier. We do this to remove the financial burden and associated costs, thereby creating career advancement opportunities and progress for our people. Some of our success has been sponsoring 92% of our Black associates, of which 67% are female. Our external training offerings are all accredited courses, and some of our focus has been on manager effectiveness. Because we service global markets and operate in a matrix structure, it is important for our leaders to understand the South African way of working and our employee relations landscape too. We offer our leaders access to leadership coaches, and our associates get to access training to close any skills gaps linked to achieving our strategic objectives. When it comes to internal workshops and training, this is one of the ways that we promote social learning. This is done through our knowledge sharing sessions amongst our peers and leaders across TransUnion. And lastly, our learnership program is another important investment that we make, as workplace readiness, digital readiness, and experiential on-the-job learning is what our first-time entrants into the corporate world get to experience to give them the best chances to be absorbed into permanent roles. I have highlighted that we have achieved a 62% absorption rate already, but of the 62%, we are proud in that 75% are females, 71% are Black, and 83% are aged between 24 and 28 years old, thereby creating employment opportunities for South African youth. In the next slide, I'm going to take you through how we keep our associates engaged virtually. We have an engagement program that runs throughout the year, and this is achieved through our employee led committee, who rolls out initiatives that matter to our people. These initiatives are not all work related, as we aim to provide a sense of fun, social, and collaboration opportunities too. We create moments that matter for our associates through 6 focus areas. Our Good Works program is where we give back to the communities around us through volunteering efforts of our associates. Some of our initiatives have been sponsoring a youth development program with Prime Stars to create a movie focusing on gender based violence awareness called What About the Boys? Making Every Day a Nelson Mandela Day is a campaign that we run with our soup kitchen drives. And the Secret Santa Shoebox Project is another way that we give back to underprivileged children in South Africa. Our second area of focus is our Women at GCC Africa. Here we implement and promote women initiatives in the workplace, such as hosting a series of leadership events for GCC Africa women, either by our female leaders within the organization as well as outside the business, to share their knowledge, learnings, wisdom, inspiration to keep us going. We've also hosted gender based violence sessions to learn more and to support our female associates. Through our diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging efforts, we aim to create a culture of openness and learning about the perspectives and uniqueness that each of us bring. We celebrate our uniqueness through our cultural and religious differences. We try to create campaigns and events around international days like Youth Month, Pride Month, as well as Women's Day. We host coffee conversations, which is a powerful inclusion tool that we use to encourage dialogue and sharing of experiences with our associates as we tackle unconscious bias. To drive transformation from an equity perspective, we've been certified as a top gendered empowered company for achieving high female representation in our business. We also achieved 100% female representation at a leadership level too. We've learned that being a fully remote workforce makes our environment a suitable one for persons who are differently abled. Currently, 4% of our associates are differently abled, and we are looking to increase this as part of our transformation strategy. From a wellness perspective, encouraging and sponsoring associates participating in races such as running and cycling help us to create physical activity that's great for one's well-being. And this is what we encourage due to our virtual environment. Through our remotely fun initiatives, we have monthly competitions to encourage connections, togetherness, and to socialize. We host quarterly online events like quizzes and games to inject fun as we work from home to stay connected. In the next slide, you will find my contact details if you are interested in understanding more about TransUnion, or if you would like to reach out to find out more about our work from home practices. I'd like to thank you so much for your time and listening to today's presentation. I am going to pause if you have any questions at this point.
Thank you so much, Shivani, for sharing these wonderful insights. I think it's such a comprehensive process that you have put together in managing this whole remote working journey for your employees. And we really appreciate you sharing that with us. I cannot help but have the question, and maybe some of the audience have the same. In South Africa, with our big challenge of load shedding that we have, how has this impacted your virtual environment and how do you mitigate that impact?
Thank you, Sarah. Sandra. That's a very important question, especially being a virtual environment. We have experienced minimal impact due to the tools and equipment that is provided to each associate. Some of this was shared during our technical onboarding processes with the video you've just seen, but we have a comprehensive equipment kit where each associate gets a UPS power bank, and this enables up to 30 hours of connectivity on a fiber line, as well as up to 12 hours on a laptop. We also have backup SIM cards and LTE routers with the antennas, as you've seen. And we set our associates up for fiber to their homes. And this is to ensure that our associates have a 100 meg line speed, which is going to be part of the requirements that we need in order for them to be set up for success. But most importantly, we look at paying an internet subsidy for our associates. And we are also exploring more solar solutions as well as we ready ourselves for the winter seasons too.
Super. Well, I definitely think that addresses some of the concerns that there could be. Um, we've got a few questions from our audience. So I think the first one we had was talking about your recruitment process. Ella had the question how long this recruitment process virtually takes on average.
So we have two sets of recruitment that we do. One is for our contact center voice roles, and there we have our SLA at 60 days. However, we do find ourselves hiring our roles with below the 60-day SLA, and we also have specialist roles. Within the specialist roles, we have a multi-array of functions, and they are SLAs within 90 days. But once again, our team does try to beat their own SLA to hire faster for our markets.
Of course. Thank you very much. Another question is Anonymous said they think they speak for most of voice associates when pointing out that in this virtual world, we hardly have any off screen time. I think you also spoke about that work life balance and how to manage that. Um, there's not really a chance to attend town hall meetings anymore, and current work hours and increased call volumes do not always allow for that. Is there a plan on, or how do we manage that to allow associates to still have that time for one on one contact without compromising that productivity?
So this is where we would rely heavily on our workforce management team and things like attending town halls, attending focus groups, um, attending some of our engagement initiatives is what our management team as well as our WF team will need to schedule for our agents to allow for this time. So that's one of the ways that we would do it currently.
Okay, great. With some of employees now working remotely, have you seen any changes in productivity? I know some organizations have the concern that it's more difficult to manage the output of people if we can't see them face to face. What has been your experience?
We haven't seen any concerns in productivity because we are a very output driven organization. We measure our associates on goals and projects that they deliver, and we are quite a fast paced environment that sometimes experiences quick turnaround times when it comes to delivery. So this is where that culture of responsiveness and accountability comes in. But in terms of productivity, what I would highlight is that due to the continued investment in our GCC Africa, our headcount growth, all of this indicates client satisfaction too in terms of the output that our associates are providing. The other spin-off that I would highlight in terms of what work from home enables is independence. And this allows our associates to learn skills, to work at their own pace as well as look at sharing knowledge with one another within the organization. But we are not seeing any dips in terms of productivity. In fact, it has increased because our associates are also not spending time, for example, traveling to an office, getting ready in the morning to go to an office as well. And these are times that our associates are using to obviously focus on their well-being too, but also to remain productive within our workforce.
Of course. And I think, especially talking about load shedding, it certainly saves some time to sit in traffic when we have that challenge. And I think just the last question from our side, has the remote working model impacted on opportunities for social learning?
Social learning for us is achieved virtually at the moment, Sandra. We've resorted to technology through collaboration tools. So we've got MS Teams, we've got Zoom. This allows for whiteboarding. We've got the chat functionality. We have screen sharing. Our cameras are on like it is now. This all allows us to interact and learn from one another. So we have knowledge sharing sessions. We also have quizzes. That's part of the ways that we socialize. Yes, it's more convenient to lean over my colleague's shoulder in the office and to see how something is done, but we have not experienced this not being an opportunity for us in the virtual environment.
Okay, super. Well, I think that really gets to the end of our time slot for this session. Shivani, thank you so much for sharing your insights once again and for answering the questions. And very happy to move back to Voto in the studio. Thank you.
Thank you both. It's impressive to see that, especially with the load shedding, who would have thought a couple of years ago that that phrase in Southern Africa would be such a typical mainstream word. But it's impressive to see how TransUnion takes up the challenges. Thank you both for the talk. Thank you, audience, for the questions. Nice interaction. I hope you got a lot of insights as well. Later today, we are connecting live to the United States, where our regional director, Trevor Bogan, meets with NTT Data's VP of People and Culture, Kim Curley, for a talk about fostering a strong culture in a global organization. And this is just day one of Top Employers Inspire. So do yourself a learning favor and register for more sessions to get the most out of it. We're sharing insights for a better world of work and for your benefit as well. Thank you for attending this session, and see you in one of our next Top Employers Inspire sessions. Thank you.